Good evening, Cherries fans, and welcome to this first of the series of three special shows here on Up the Cherries in all departments. Now, do remember to check out our sponsors, Dental on the Banks. They can be found at dentalonthebanks.co.uk. So, the first episode, we are talking about that result against Tottenham Hotspur, and of course, that fantastic last minute victory and that goal by Dango Atara. Of course, we do have a very, very special guest for the first of these special shows. And it is a pleasure to welcome on former Bournemouth and Tottenham Hotspur manager Harry Redknapp. Welcome back to the show, Harry. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. Craig had a nice weekend, a busy weekend. I went up to Aintree yesterday. Grand National had a runner back on the lash. He jumped okay, but he wasn't there at the end. And I had a couple of runners in the race before, which both run very well. Both got in the frame. One came second, one came fourth. They both looked like coming first and second, jump in the last. But so yeah, I had a lovely day. Lots of nice people there. It was, watched the Bournemouth score, followed the game on my phone. Watched that amazing result yesterday for Bournemouth.
And I think that's probably where it's best to start with. So ahead of the game, Tottenham's form has been quite mixed, and of course Spurs are trying to get into those Champions League places. Of course, you managed to get them into that back in 2010 for the first time since 1962, but their form's been a bit mixed. Recently, been held to draws against Everton and Southampton. Could you see a Cherries win before the game, Harry?
No, I thought it'd be I knew we'd go there and do well because I think Bournemouth have been playing so well. To go to Arsenal and go 2-up, showed you just where the team is at the moment. They've been fantastic, I think, some of the football. But no, I must admit, Tottenham at home. But I thought we might go there and nick a point. I thought we'd settle for a point and have a point on the board. But that win yesterday was just an amazing result, a fantastic result. And yeah, the team and Gary ONeal just been absolutely fantastic. I can't tell you just how pleased I am to see what they're doing and what Gary and his team, Tommy Elford, Sean Cooper, it's that win yesterday almost takes us out the relegation battle. I think we're very close now, I think, to being safe.
A lot of fans already are talking about how many points, Harry, are needed to actually stay up. Um, do you feel confident now that we will get across that line?
Absolutely. Not only is the team playing well, picking up points, I've looked at us the last, since the window closed, and I think we've played some fantastic football. We can give anybody a game, and they say that's been proved. Newcastle came here. We should have beaten Newcastle, I felt, that day. That was a great performance. And then, there's been other good performances in between. And, the away win at Leicester last week was a big 3 points. So I think we're probably one win away now from being safe. I don't see Southampton getting another 7 or 8 points. Leicester are the same. I think them two look like they're gone to me. And then there's 4 or 5 teams who I'd name who I think have got more chance of going down than what Bournemouth have. I really don't see Bournemouth getting relegated. The team's playing too well, full of quality, confidence. So, no, I don't see us. I think that win yesterday has almost pulled us out of it.
We will discuss the other teams in a bit, but of course, let's focus back on this game and the fantastic job that Gary ONeal was doing. Of course, he was somebody who you managed when at Portsmouth all those years ago. Did you see him becoming a good manager, and how good a job do you think he has done?
Gary was a good player, intelligent footballer. Had a great career. Moved around a bit, but wherever he went, he did a fantastic job. So yeah, when he got the opportunity, I knew he got into coaching, and then he came in. I know, 7-8 weeks ago, whatever, when he maybe longer. You know, there were doubters. I know he was getting a bit of stick in certain quarters, but he's come through that. He showed what he's made of, and he's just done a fantastic job. There's no doubt about that. And it's great to see a young English manager get the opportunity with his coaching staff to get a job in the Premier League and to do so well. A little bit like what Eddie did, really. Although Eddie took us through the divisions, I know. But again, young English manager with predominantly an English group of coaches and staff. I love to see the boys get the chance to manage, and it's good. I think it's good for our game that someone like Harriers, who deserves the opportunity, having been such a good player, a good pro, gets that chance now, and he's grabbing it with both hands. He's done a great job.
Most definitely. Well, that game yesterday, of course, Spurs took the lead, and then one of the new signings scored in Vina. Of course, Solanke then made it 2-1, and Danjuma pulled it back to 2-0. And then it was Atara who won the game. Of course, between that Solanke, well, either side of that Solanke goal was goals from the new signings. And one person that deserves quite a lot of credit for that is Richard Hughes, another man that you know very well. What do you think of Bournemouth's transfer business?
Yeah, done very well in the window. Bought some good players in. Richard knows he knows the scene. He knows the Italian league, the French. He knows all the leagues abroad. He's very very good on the recruitment. So he's made more good signings, which is great for the team. And that is that is a very very it's a major part of any football club is the recruitment. You know, if you're recruiting poor players, you've got no chance. And the recruitment has been good. They've spent money well. The squad looks very, very strong. They've got players that are not in the team there. Suddenly, a bench that is full of good players, and they've even got a few that don't even make the bench, who could get in lots of teams. So, yeah, things are looking great at the moment. But Richard, yeah, deserves a lot of credit.
And with regards to that performance, what did you make of it yesterday? Is it one of the best performances from Bournemouth in the Premier League ever?
It would be, yeah, right up there going to Tottenham and winning. You know, Tottenham are full of quality players. People keep saying, well, they're under, but they've been in the top four most of the year, and they're still pushing for a top four place. So to go there and win, and to score 3 goals, to score 2 at Arsenal, it shows you the team go there to, play with no fear, really. They have a go, which is important. They don't go there and sit back and wait to get, for the other team to score and then take it on the chin. They get there and they take the game to the opposition, which I love to see. And they play an attacking game. They've got pace. They've got pace in wide positions. The fullbacks can get forward and it's just the whole makeup of the team at the moment. I think looks excellent, and I've said to everybody, Bournemouth can give anybody a game, and they've proved that now.
Of course, there's going to be a lot of Spurs fans which are a bit disheartened, and of course, one of your former clubs, like we mentioned earlier on, they did dispose of the services of Antonio Conte. Was you surprised to see him leave the club, Harry?
Not really. I just felt, after that press, he's been a top manager wherever he's been. He's managed big clubs with top players, but I think once he had the outburst after the game the other week, it was always difficult. I think once you start having having a go at the chairman or the board or whoever, the owners, it becomes difficult. So it was only a matter of time, really. I felt then I didn't think he would survive after that. A little bit like Bournemouth's situation early in the year. I mean, Scott did a great job getting the club up, but then I think he was a little bit critical that he didn't have the backing to bring players in or whatever. Once you do that, really, the writing's on the wall. You're criticising people that employ you. You leave yourself very open then, and I think that's what Conte did really.
Of course, Daniel Levy has come under quite a lot of criticism for some of the changes at Spurs. What was your relationship like with him, and what direction does he go in next? Does he go for a big name manager and expect instant results, or does he go for a manager who's given time and to build a squad?
Well, I mean, people criticise Daniel. I got on very well with him. I had no problems with Daniel at all. He's done an amazing job. The stadium, what a stadium! Probably the best football
Yeah.
stadium in the world. The training ground is as good as anywhere in the world.
Mhm.
You know, and they've bought players in. They've spent money. I think they're in the top 5 spenders every year. So I don't know really what's this. You know, they're full of internationals. Got the French captain in goal. They've got this Argentinian centre half. They've got the best centre forward in the world in Harry Kane. And I say that people go, well, what about Haaland? No, Harry Kane's a better player than Haaland, in my opinion. No comparison really. Um, so yeah, it's Sun's amazing. They've got full of quality. They've got internationals everywhere. What more can you do? And they keep bringing in big managers. They've had Mourinho. They've had Conte. I mean, what more? You know, the Pochettino came in, did a good job.
Mhm.
They've gone through managers galore. But I don't know where he turns now. Very difficult. Who's available? He could go back to Pochettino. He could go for Brendan Rodgers, possible. So it'd be interesting to see where Tottenham go now.
Of course, at the start of the season, we did the preview show, and I made a prediction of Newcastle
You
finishing
did.
third. I thought I was a little bit mad.
I
They are
did.
third at the moment, but of course, Spurs are right in that mix. Who do you think will get the Champions League spots?
Looking at it now, I think obviously the top two. You know, it's a straight shootout between Arsenal and Man City. I think Man United will still get the third spot, and then it's wide open. Aston Villa put themselves in the picture. I could never see that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would favour Newcastle over Tottenham. They've got to play Tottenham, I think, at Newcastle. I still think Newcastle. You know, I didn't think it at the start of the year when you mentioned it, Craig. I thought you were mad.
yeah,
But I do think that Newcastle now have got every chance. There's a different feel about Newcastle. Tottenham are a very unhappy club, unhappy fans. Newcastle are loving every minute of what Eddie's doing and what the team are doing. Okay, they had a bad result yesterday, but that can happen. But overall, I think they've been delighted with what they've seen this year. They've got to be. It's been an amazing improvement. So I think the momentum and everything else, and good feel-good factor is with Newcastle rather than Tottenham. So I see Newcastle, and this year, to be fair, you've got teams like Chelsea that are nowhere near it, which has been quite amazing, really, the season they've had. So it has opened up Liverpool as well, two teams that you'd think would be in the top four, both way off the pace. So it's certainly a great opportunity, I think, and I think Newcastle would be my pick. Love to see them do it.
well, exactly. And Eddie, of course, has done a remarkable job there. I remember when we
Yeah,
first spoke ages ago, and Newcastle were 20th, bottom of the Premier League. Of course, he managed to get them to 11th last
yeah,
season, and what he's done this season is absolutely remarkable.
yeah. Brilliant job.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us on this show. Please do remember to hit the like, the subscribe, and the bell button to be alerted for part two of this special series. Part two will be covering the relegation battle in the Premier League. So we will get Harry's views on that and which teams he thinks will be relegated this season. But until then, thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you then.